Listen, I don't know. I dislike Jake Paul. I never used to like him.
Get your tongue out of his arsehole, Max.
Yeah. Yeah, when I say John Fury, I'm going to slap him. Then straight away, I'll slap his tits.
Jesus.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Bring it on, yeah. Hi guys, it's Tubbs from FighterstalkTV, and I'd like to say a big thank you to all of our subscribers and followers on all of our social media, and I want to talk to you about being able to win one of our $50 a month prizes here with us at FighterstalkTV. We want you to share our content. Simply like, subscribe or follow our channels on all social media outlets and tag at least one person in any of our posts. The more people you tag, the more posts you make, the more chance you've got of winning. We're giving away 5 $50 prizes every month and they're Amazon vouchers sent to you directly. What are you waiting for, guys? We want to thank you for your support. Get subscribing, get tagging, get boxing. Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of No F's Given with my good pal Max. How are you, mate?
Yes, mate, I'm all good. Excellent.
And sadly, we were unable to attend the fight of Joe Joyce for Zhang because Max's bum wasn't too well. So this is the episode of the 24th of September. Yeah, you've only got one bum. You've only got one ass. Anyway, guys, so I want to jump straight in with some of the local news. Obviously, some of the news that we obviously know about Zhang defeating Joe Joyce, and that was a hell of a knockout, mate, wasn't it?
Yes, mate, and I was gobsmacked, to be honest with you. You was like this, I was like, no way.
It was brutal, but massive kudos to Zhang. He said he was going to do it. He lived up to the hype. He promised it. He promised what he said he delivered, and yeah, he just got on with the job. So we can't be too critical of him. But Joe Joyce, completely wrong tactics, mate. Completely wrong.
Yes, yeah, it was completely wrong. But I was like, the training he was getting, his trainer actually stands on nearly a big platform boats like that because it's so small. You know, I think
it might have been also a language barrier as well, wasn't it? Salas, I think, was his name. The reason that name sticks with me so well was obviously the Johnny Fisher fight that we went to. But I'd like to say thank you very much to Queensbury for inviting us. We went to the press conference. It was an interesting press conference. The predictions of who we spoke to actually came right, all except the Joe Joyce thing. But I think if we're honest, we did, and we held a poll on it, and most people thought he would struggle, and they were right. So what next for Joe Joyce? What next for Zhang? Well, according to Frank Warren, Joe Joyce really needs to consider what he wants to actually do. But Joe Joyce himself said it's not the end of the game. What do you think?
No, I think it's going to be a tough road for him to sort of get back to the top level again. Like, one, he's coming from back-to-back losses from Zhang. You know, like the first time it was stopped because of the eye. This time it was brutally knocked out, you know, face planted. It's going to be a tough road to get back up to that top level to earn good money. And also, he's not no spring chicken, is he?
Well, he's 38 years old. Doesn't mean it's impossible. I mean, Joshua, I think Frank Warren was absolutely right. Everybody has a boogeyman. Joshua's boogeyman is Usyk. Joyce's boogeyman is obviously Zhang. But, you know, Zhang is like levels below Usyk, in my opinion. But that is who is next for Zhang, because the WBO mandatory challenger is Zhang. So, you know, that's going to be an interesting fight. Also, there could be, I think Eddie Hearn's talking about AJ versus Zhang over in China. So, what's your bit of news, mate, you want to talk about?
I want to talk about KSI. You know, this man don't stop, does he? Right? He started off with his video mugging Tommy Fury off, saying you're nothing, you're just a little muggy little brother of the Furies. And I thought it was a bit funny. And then he went on to saying, yeah, when I say John Fury, I'm going to slap him. And then straight away I'll slap his tits.
Jesus.
Or maybe I'll slap his tits. Yeah, both tits. Just.
I mean, you've got to give it to
I don't want to be
comedy.
in his boots when he makes all the Furies, because when he fights Tommy next month, it ain't going to be just Tommy and John there. It's going to be the lot.
But I just think that, you know, for my point of view, I think KSI is a twat, and you can quote me on that. And if you have a problem with me, KSI, you're quite welcome to come and confront me at the next presser. I'll hopefully be at the Matchroom presser this weekend. This Thursday. So feel free to come down and confront me there.
Bring it on.
Yeah. Bring it on, yeah. Do you know what I mean? And don't use elbows, otherwise I'll use my head. Whack. That's how it would be. So, anyway, so I want to go and talk about Conor Benn. So Conor Benn actually came back, and this is really, really controversial because obviously he hasn't got a license in Great Britain under the BBBOC. They're not giving him a license. They're actually taking a legal battle to have him suspended and overturn the hearing that.
Unless your name's Eddie Hearn.
Yeah, and
who
so
claims he is free to fight in the UK. He has been cleared. He has passed this and that. But there's
you know
news
what?
out saying otherwise.
Well, I tell you why, because the system works quite different. You can fight in Great Britain under two circumstances. The first circumstance is that you're licensed from the British Boxing Board of Control. The second circumstance is you're licensed outside through another commission and you apply to box. Yeah? That's at that point you can do that. But here's another thing that's been underhanded. You know, it was only announced a few days before the fight. That he was fighting back in Florida. Okay, it wasn't on the card. Rodolfo Orozco, who is much bigger than him. There's a couple of things I want to bring up. So Orozco, who's much bigger than him, it was only announced a few days before. However, Eddie went on another channel and actually was telling them that Ben's been in camp for 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, so this has all been planned and it's all been done.
You think it's a bit underhanded?
Well, it without sounding too sort of bad about it, I mean, I like a clean sport. I love a clean sport. For me, it's you know, if everyone's playing a fair game, everyone's honest, that's what I love, right? You know, may the best man win to the natural born ability, not medically enhanced, right? That's the way I see it.
Yeah.
But a lot of things, this is where the dark side of boxing comes in. I sort of understand why it's been done because of all the criticism and everything else. But on the other hand, you know, you have to approach this thing. If you want to go into a court, in any case, and you want to win your case, you have to approach it with what's called clean hands, right? And in this particular instance, he hasn't had a hearing. It's sort of more a case of that there's a back way round it. Do you know what I mean? It's not gone in there and said this. Yeah, it's a technicality as opposed to that. And Simon Jordan, who's TalkSport pundit, I like Simon because he's straight up, no bullshit, straight out with how it comes. You know, it's got to take responsibility for it. You know, and this is where it comes into one anti-doping association globally, and also eventually one commission. Do you know what I mean? That's licensing these fighters. Listen, right, we have a big problem. Okay, there's a lot of problem in the UK when Joshua made his statement that he didn't read properly and just read something out someone else wrote. Right? Yeah. You agreed with that. There was problems, there was uproar and all sorts of it, and it cost him a lot of fans. Right? It did cost him a lot of fans. Now there was uproar about that. He was held accountable for what came out his mouth.
Yes.
So is Conor. Right? We know Conor. We've met Conor. You know, we know one of his dear friends, a good trainer of his, who's going to be helping us out on the show. And I've got nothing but love for that kid. I think he's a fantastic kid. He's a phenomenal fighter. But sometimes emotions get the better of him and he doesn't think what he says, you know. And it does cause that sort of controversy. Now, I think he has been ill-advised. I think he's all about chasing the money. He's just faced a heavy £400,000 legal bill, which quite frankly is ridiculous for anyone to suffer because of that, just to defend his name. I totally understand it. And he's gone, and the minute he's won his case, he's on his blower, or Eddie's phoning him and saying, Con, listen, now you've won your case, I can get you a fight in Florida. Okay, you can be on the undercard. Yeah, and he's gone, oh, cheers Ed, could do with that. I need a few quid. I haven't earned any money for 18 months. It's cost me 400 bags. I could do with a few quid. Sounds like a cracking idea to me. Are you sure I'm going to get licensed? Yeah, I'll get your license, Conor, and you can fight. If that's that could be good or bad, right? Right.
Depends on what way you're looking at it.
Depending on what you're looking at. The fact he is not suspended at the moment by the British Boxing Board of Control means he's actually licensed to fight. Eddie is absolutely right. But what I would also say is you're gonna, when you do things like this, Conor, you're gonna face criticism. Yeah, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. You know, and I told him this when I was there. You were with me, and I said, Conor, I'm going to give you the best advice. Opinions are like arseholes. Everyone's got one, and they all stink. And the only one that really matters is yours.
Yeah,
so,
and you also told him, if you're guilty, hold your hands up. If you're not, don't hold your hands up.
That's right. Fight it all the way. Fight it all the way. So
and that's what he's done. He's fought it all the way.
Yeah, yes.
Now on tooth, you know what I mean?
And I think you can't argue with that. You can't say that that's a bad thing. I think that it's, you know, he's done exactly what's been expected of him, and he's fought this guy. But moving out of the technical stuff with the British Boxing Board of Control and Eddie Hearn and all the rest of it. So he goes and fights a guy much heavier than himself. Obviously, he was totally above his weight range completely, and I think he was
taller, heavier,
and he was in the Chris Eubank range. And I'm wondering if that was what this was all aimed at. And he couldn't stop him. He couldn't stop him. He was. But then there's another
reason why.
It's because he's
Did
Mexican.
he need rounds in the bank?
That's bollocks. That's bollocks. Listen, he weren't hitting him 90%. He weren't hitting him 50%. He was catching that lad on the chin 100%.
Yeah.
And he couldn't
but then
put
you
him
can
away.
go back to George Lillard. We know he can bang people out, but he needed rounds in the bank.
Yeah, but if
he went a distance.
Yeah, but
and we know he's a powerful fighter.
Yeah, but Max, hang on. Listen, let's cut the bullshit, right? If George Lillard could have put that fella away inside of 2 rounds, he would have done. If Chris Eubank, I do apologise, Conor. If Conor could have put that lad last night away inside of 2 rounds, he would have done. There's no point making excuses after that. That Conor hit that lad, right, with everything he had, and the kid kept coming after him. He was not strong enough to put him away. Right. But moving on, talking about Eddie Hearn, I want to move on back to Zhang. Now, there's talk about him fighting Anthony Joshua, and that says that Eddie Hearn's gone on record saying that actually interests him in China. What do you think of that? Fancy a trip to China, mate?
Well, that would be a very interesting fight. It's going to have to be for mega money. 2 giants. You know what I mean? They're both similar in height. But I think Zhang come in 2 stone heavier, didn't he, than what Joshua is?
Up to, I think, yeah.
Because I'm an 18 stone heavyweight. I'm a new breed.
Well, this guy's 20 stone,
yeah. And he still managed to throw combos.
Yeah. it would be interesting. I have to say that we could go out there and call a fight, but I think as well what you've got to look at is it would be interesting. I think I've never been to China before, so that'll be a.
Yeah, but I think I don't know. Something tells me Zhang will beat Joshua. Joshua might.
You've just got a Joshua hate campaign going on.
No. Listen, I used to like Joshua. I used to love his fighting. You know what I mean? Until that one day, he ruined it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right,
I totally get it. But I think Joshua stopped Zhang. I think Joshua stopped Zhang. Anyway, you tell me, what's the next discussion point?
Right. Francis Ngannou, Tyson Fury.
Oh.
Right.
It's now starting to become this little bit of circus, isn't it?
It is, but this is an accusation coming from Ngannou about Tyson Fury's gloves, and it's not the first boxer I've heard complain about it. Is he a bit of a glove cheat?
No, I don't see how you can be a glove cheat. Not in this day and age. Not with everything
listen,
on.
if you look back, even Wilder said that the gloves are proper flappy and all that. And if you watch some of the videos, you go in slow mo, his gloves are flapping around like that. They're not That's not how gloves are. It's
listen,
like he's tucked his fingers down under the padding.
Yeah, listen. I don't believe they're rigged. I don't believe it's fake. I just think it's.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna find this on YouTube.
Max. You don't know shit about boxing, right? Listen, it ain't gonna.
No, I know shit about knockouts.
Yeah, but in UFC, you got to worry about elbows, arms, heads, legs, eyeballs.
There wasn't no elbows or nothing. They just run
No,
at each
I didn't
other.
say there was. I've just said you have to look out for it. You know, you don't have to watch a flying knee in boxing, right? You ain't got to worry about anything from below the tits. It could John Fury's boobs, right? Because it's all above here. This is where the punches or the elbows in KSI's case are coming from, right? So everything below that they can use in UFC, you can't use in boxing. So you ain't got to worry about 90% of the human body. So that's why it's so different. But you come in for your first professional heavyweight fight against the WBC and lineal champion of the world. Right? If this was a real contest that I believe that it will be, listen, this ain't going past 4 rounds. Because it's the same as McGregor, Mayweather. Mayweather carried that fool for round after round after round. He should have destroyed him in 3 rounds. But then it wouldn't sell fights.
If you listen to Mike Tyson's podcast over that, and people started mug McGregor off, and then Tyson went, listen here, McGregor went 12 rounds with the greatest boxer we've been blessed with in the last 100 years.
Well, Floyd Mayweather's going to be the discussion of another time. Any more news, buddy? You want to cover?
I have. I've got going back to the circus fights again.
Oh God.
Old Glassjaw, Amir Khan, said he's fed up with Jake Paul. He's had enough of him, and he's calling him out.
Right. Okay. We're going to disagree on this. I know we're going to disagree on this. Amir Khan sparks him in 4. That's what happened.
No way. Listen,
right. There's no way. No way. Jake Paul is going to do anything to a former world champion.
He was.
Listen,
he's a has-been. He's gone.
Carl Froch will beat the shit out of Jake Paul. Amir Khan will bash up Jake Paul. Tony Bellew will bash up Jake Paul. And even our little friend Spencer Oliver, who's about 3'1", will bash up Jake Paul. Right? We see Spence at the weekend. Good to see him again.
Listen, mate, you got to give him a bit more credit than that.
I'm talking about 4 world champions here. There is no way that man has the ability.
I'm not doubting the other 3 could probably smash up Jake Paul, but Glassjaw, I don't think so.
Listen, I'm telling you, Amir Khan will do a proper decoration job all over him.
Listen, I don't know, I dislike Jake Paul. I never used to like him.
Get your tongue out of his arsehole, Max.
Yeah. That's probably what give me the shits.
And on that note, I think we've got to end another episode of No F's Given. Thanks very much for joining us. And if you want to be part of No F's Given and indeed Fighters Talk TV, don't forget we're giving away $50 prizes, 5 of them, 1 for each of our social media channels. Just like, subscribe and tag your friends, and we will see you on the next episode. Thanks very much for watching. Thanks to my pal Max, and hopefully he gets over the shits ready for next week.